Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and welcome to a fantastic game of StarCraft 2. This one is going to be played between Evil Geniuses in Control. He is the blue Protoss up here on the top side spawn of Metalopolis, and his opponent today is going to be coL.Ryze, or coL.Ryze. He is the green Zerg down on the bottom spawn. So we do have cross-position PvZ here for Game 1 in a best-of-3 series. It's being played for the ESEA.net Grand Finals for their Team League for StarCraft 2. It is Complexity Gaming against Evil Geniuses, and I do say Grand Finals because these two teams actually met in the Winners Final as well. Complexity Gaming did take that series 3-1, and then Evil Geniuses dropped into a lower bracket and defeated VVV Gaming in order to appear once again in the Grand Finals. So the way this is going to work is both players will put up, both teams will put up 5 players against the other. They'll play best-of-3 series between each other in order, and then whichever team acquires 3 series victories first is the winner. So there's going to be at least 3 best-of-3 series for this team league. If one of the teams goes 3-0, obviously there will be more if necessary. So here we go into the first game. EG.iNcontroL doing some scouting there at the close ground positions. It is important to note that this map version of Metalopolis is just the ladder edition. There's no MLG variation or anything like that with any weird stuff at the bottom of the ramps. There's no forced cross or close air positions only. All 4 of these spawn locations were possible. Ryze actually checked that close flying position first here with his Overlord. It looks like EG.iNcontroL is preparing to try and harass any sort of drone that comes over to try and drop a hatchery, but it looks like Ryze instead is going to be going pool first, followed by an extractor. This is a variation on the Speedling build that is going to allow him to get a hatchery shortly after that spawning pool, but Zerg actually has been sort of forced to build that spawning pool first in this matchup just because of what EG.iNcontroL just did there at his natural, dropping that pylon. He knows that he's going to be over there delaying that hatchery, so might as well get that spawning pool first, build your first 2, 4, or even 6 lings to destroy the probe, destroy that pylon, and eventually get your hatch down. And of course he's starting to harvest his gas already, so he can get those speedlings out sooner than later. Ryze does actually manage to sneak a drone into EG.iNcontrol's main. He's going to see this second assimilator being placed very quickly, and that could be sort of a gut reaction in case Ryze was planning to do some sort of gas steal. Now he's certainly not able to do that. He can't get his drone to stay in there forever and ever just by stealing the gas. So EG.iNcontroL may have already had a strategy plan that uses the 2 assimilators, or he might just be blocking Ryze from trying to get some additional information. And there we see Ryze breaking down that first pylon with his first 4 lings, and now he's going to safely be able to drop that hatchery. He does have 300 minerals, and there you go. Metabolic boost. Already researching here for Ryze. He pulled all his harvesters off of gas, as you would expect, so now he's just going to continue to drone up heavily for the time being. He does have a drone. No, he doesn't have a drone at the Zone Like a Tower. He's just got that Overlord hanging out over the top of it. He's got his lings scouting around everywhere for any sort of forward pylons, which is really great to do, but looks like he did miss this probe. But this is actually a very, very common spot over here by this gold base where you can drop a forward pylon, warp in on the low ground, and be very, very close to your enemy's natural. So I would be surprised if Ryze doesn't actually scout that out. But just because he's being so thorough with the rest of his lings, checking all the other spawns, all the other naturals, and things like that. EG.iNcontroL does have a full wall off here with this Zealot on hold position, as well as a Stalker on hold position, so this ling not going to be able to get any additional information. EG.iNcontroL is harvesting off of 2 assimilators now. He's built a Twilight Council before his second gateway, so it looks like he is going for perhaps a fast blink build or a DT rush. That is something you can do with that very, very quick second assimilator. Yep, there's the Dark Shrine up in the production tab already. It looks like this Overlord from Ryze is going to be safe for the time being. He just has to back off a little bit, and then Stalker will just give up and go back to that front line. 2 more gateways total being added. That'll put him up to 3 gates with that Dark Shrine, as well as 2 assimilators. That is actually a very common build for PvZ on the ladder. Ryze probably has run into it several times. Let's see if he's got his lair started yet. No, he's still working off of only 1 extractor. He also doesn't have a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren up yet, so he's working off of just pure Ling, Drone, Spinecrawler, Queen, mineral-only build, as I like to call it, although he did get that metabolic boost already. He's going to send a bunch of speedlings up here to the front and see this pylon being dropped on the low ground, so that does give him the information that perhaps EG.iNcontroL is going to be expanding here soon into his natural. He doesn't have any sentries along for the ride, no forge for cannons or anything, just a couple of stalkers and this zealot, and perhaps Ryze will be able to guess from this very low unit count that Dark Templar might be a possibility here in the very near future, as that Dark Shrine is about to finish up. I still don't see... oh, actually, there is a lair in production. Okay, so Evolution Chamber also coming along means that Spore Crawlers will be, available for Ryze. He can drop one there at the natural, drop one inside the main, and still be pretty much safe against those DTs. Of course, he'll throw a lot of lings at the DTs to try and, save all his drones, but we'll see how things actually work out. I do see 3 Spore Crawlers there in the production tab, and that lair is going to be done soon as well, so he'll have Overseers available. Forge coming up for EG.iNcontroL. Going to start rolling some upgrades for his Tier 1 units out of these gateways, as well as the Dark Templar, of course, going to be able to benefit from that, and he can build some cannons around his natural if and when he actually expands here at his natural. He's got about 400 minerals saved up, 500 now. Surprised he hasn't dropped that Nexus just yet. Maybe he's saving minerals for a round of warp-ins. Nope, there is the Nexus inside the base. Overlord actually gets a good look at everything. He did see the Dark Shrine, finally confirming it, and EG.iNcontrol's just going to gun down that Overlord in one more shot. Ryze actually might have been able to even save it, but doesn't look too concerned about it. Wow, actually EG.iNcontroL doesn't seem too concerned about it either. It's kind of interesting. Lots and lots of lings coming out here for Ryze. They don't have any upgrades actually at this moment. There's an infestation pit coming along right now. 2 more extractors going up at the natural, as well as some more macro overlords, just in case he loses that scouting one. He doesn't want to supply block himself. He is already at max, and there that overlord does explode, so he's at 60 over 52. There's all these lings running in. These cannons actually 2-shot the Zerglings, Stalkers, and Sentry Zealot combo here, going to help as well. So Ryze not going to be able to run into the main at all. No additional tech here from EG.iNcontroL. Let's look at the Forge. He is getting +1 weapons very quickly, something you do see quite a lot in this matchup. In PvT, sometimes you'll see them go for that armor upgrade first, but weapons just fine for Protoss players against Zerg. Hatchery Silhouette going down there at the 3rd. This DT is just going to try and escape safely without running past the Spine Crawler and Queen combo with the Spore Crawler nearby, so really the Dark Templar, not the best investment for EG.iNcontroL. Ryze did figure it out with plenty of time to spare, and no DTs really are going to be too effective here unless he manages to get in and kill some lings. Yeah, he is going to take a few swipes at these lings, get 3 kills, 4 kills, no Overseer in the area. There it finally arrives, and this DT is going to rack up 6 kills total before being taken out. So now we have Overseers out from Ryze, we have Spore Crawlers, the DTs effectively totally neutralized, Observer coming up here as well, no anti-air really except for those Spore Crawlers from Ryze just yet. We have 4 Infestors coming along, of course that can drop Fungals and Infested Terran eggs, so we'll see if he actually utilizes that. Spine Crawler coming up here. Actually, I thought it would be outside of this 3rd, but probably just more fortification for his natural, just fine with that. EG.iNcontroL, as far as actual army, just now starting to get into a groove. He's got a robotics bay coming up quite quickly, and a robotics facility, of course, already completed to be able to build the bay. Another gateway coming along as well. Both players giving each other a lot of space in this game, which is pretty surprising because Ryze's Zerg macro is actually very good, and you can see that in the supply counts for both players right now. It's 88 to 61. So Ryze is definitely no slouch when it comes to macro. We saw earlier his army value is still very low as well, but that just means that he's using all his larvae for drones and things like that. If we switch to that harvester count, we'll see 64 drones for Ryze, 43 probes for EG.iNcontroL, and that observer gets a little bit too close to the Spore Crawler. It does get warded off there. But let's switch back to production tab just so we don't miss anything. +2 ground weapons coming along now for these many stalkers and sentries. Oh, this Overseer going to fly right over the top of this little gateway force and be exploded, but Ryze is well ahead of his supply cap now. He's actually 33 supply ahead total, and EG.iNcontroL is now taking his 3rd base. Lots of lings catching this perfect timing. He did see the probe come up there with his Overseer. He saw all those gateway units. I don't think he's going to want to actually sacrifice all these lings unless he can get some juicy probe kills, but he might try and take out this Nexus. He might actually be able to do it here too. I'm going to have to watch EG.iNcontrol's minerals. Yeah, EG.iNcontroL did get the cancel off, but all it's going to cost him is some time, not really too many minerals or anything. But Ryze still just making pure ling. He's actually got his hive completed. He's getting adrenal glands and +1 melee attacks. This is the biggest investment into Zerglings I've seen in a very, very long time. He's still getting Spine Crawlers, now making a Greater Spire as well, and some Corruptors. So Ling Broodlord, perhaps going to be what we see here in the near future. He did get some Infestors out as well. I'm sure they're just racking up energy now, idle at his natural. Here comes another Ling attack into this third base Nexus as he bounces off the side at the natural. Is he going to get another Nexus cancel? Doesn't look like it. Not going to be fortunate enough this time, but more Lings coming in from the right side. I don't know what they're going to be able to do either. Ryze really just trying to get a response out of EG.iNcontroL, keep him busy. There are a lot of force fields that just got dropped, sort of needlessly, but, you know, every Ling you can kill is worth it, without losing anything yourself, of course. Adrenal glands about to be finished, and we will see some cracklings, as they are often called. Blizzard, of course, likes for us to call them adrenalings instead. They don't like crack being mentioned in any of their unit names. But Evolution Chamber number 2 coming up for Ryze, so we will be able to get some melee and armor both rolling at the same time. He's had that first Evolution Chamber up for quite a while, and melee attacks level 1 are just about to be finished here. But Ryze actually building 3 hatcheries right now. So we see one right here. There's a macro hatch over at his third, and another macro hatch being built over at his natural. So he's going to be on 4 mining bases and 6 total hatcheries. That's pretty insane. He's going to have mass larvae available to just crank out those Lings. He's getting melee attacks level 2 now. He's got Broodlords morphing that, of course, are going to benefit from the flyer attacks for their base attack, and then as well these melee attacks for the actual broodlings that come out. So we've got 9 stalkers on the move for EG.iNcontroL. I don't think he realizes he's down by 40 supply right now, and that all these broodlords just now spawning. EG.iNcontroL does have blink, so at least he's got that going on for him. He's got +3 ground weapons coming along as well. If we look at the harvester count, it is 77 to 58. EG.iNcontroL did manage to get his third base up and running, but it looks like, oh, Ryze actually losing another overlord there somewhere. Yeah, just inside the main there. But lots of Lings here for Ryze, preparing to do a run by into this main mineral line. These cannons, of course, do still 2-shot those Lings, even with armor upgrade. I don't even know if they have any armor. No, they don't. So he's just going to bounce in and out with those. EG.iNcontroL on the move again over to the gold base, rallying up there, and all the Broodlords, Infestors, and Lings for Ryze on the ground just outside of that gold base. It looks like he does want to start moving forward now. These Infestors have full energy. All of them have full energy. We've got 7 Broodlords here, and this could be a major encounter. EG.iNcontroL actually taking the bait, coming over here to try to kill some Lings, and Ryze just continuing to roll through the map here. He's got Corruptors hanging out. He's spotting a DT, going to be able to take him out if he gets that Overseer set to him, and there we do see that about to happen. All of these Overlords just pooping creep here. Looks like the major encounter, yeah, watch that DT's health just go down to nothing. There goes the DT, but here we go, big encounter. Infestors coming in, fungling everything very quickly. I'm just going to keep the Stalker health highlighted, as their blinks and their fungal growth attacks and all that stuff are going to be the major decider of this battle. But they blink forward, trying to kill off the Broodlords, don't actually manage to pick off any of them. All 7 still intact. This Colossus gets left behind. He does have 21 kills, but these Broodlords really just have to scoot a little bit forward, and they will be able to take him out. No problem. Ryze suddenly up by about 63 supply. How much of that is Harvesters? He's up by 20, so he's still got a 43 army value lead there. Well, this tells a different tale, but, you know, simple math. Anyway, lots of Broodlords still alive, lots and lots of Lings on the ground. Those Infestors still trying to do what they can. I don't see any Fungals. Oh, there's actually a Fungal on all the Sentries. That's kind of interesting, and still a lot of Corruptors here available for Ryze to be able to take out these Colossi. EG.iNcontroL still with a lot of forces alive, but these Cracklings now at 2-0 doing a ton of damage. Broodlords, still 2 of them alive, both with 0 kills. That's kind of surprising, but now we got some more morphing on top of those Lings, and there come all the macro hatches coming into play now. 16 Lings being made. He's just going to stream them over to where this attack is being fronted. 164 against 97 in total supply. Ryze still with a big supply lead, making just tons and tons of Lings. Still 22 more about to come out. Basically all they do is soak shots and allow these Broodlords plenty of time to do their damage. The Corruptors, of course, are going to be great against those Colossi, and now the Broodlords starting to pick apart the production capabilities of EG.iNcontroL. There's a pylon right here powering 2 gateways at least, and if he goes for that, actually is starting to chew it up with the Broodlords now. We do have a lot of Stalkers still alive. I did not see a Fungal, but the Broodlings and the Speedlings doing a ton of damage. Broodlords still just whacking away, but Ryze did actually lose all his Broodlords. Kind of poor management there. EG.iNcontroL warping in a ton of Stalkers to try and finish off those Broodlords. No problem there. Still a lot of Corruptors in the air, and Lings trying to do all their damage. This last pylon survives with 25 HP. That's kind kind of a miracle for InControl, as he would have lost a couple of gateways power there. But man, just 24, 26 lings in production now. They're still trying to do some damage to these Stalkers, but InControl holds it off. But he's down by 70 supply now, though, so I'm not sure how long he's actually going to be able to hold on. Ryze still just macroing like crazy. He's got a ton of lings over here at 2-0. He's got all his infestors and broodlords over on the left side of the map, so he can just hit from the bottom with that major force and then keep running lings into the natural in the main and do sort of a 1-2 punch. InControl getting more Colossi, more Psionic Storm research now, so that he can get the maximum amount of splash damage on all these lings and broodlings that keep attacking him. +3 melee attacks, +2 armor, both being researched now for Ryze, and it's going to be a while before they finish, but it looks like he is going to try and do an attack here before then. Still a lot of Stalkers left alive. 13 of them here, actually 4 more being added on now. 17 Stalkers total and a Colossus over here on the right side, but that means there's nothing inside this third base, and wow, all the lings coming in here to the natural as well, going to start chewing up those probes. No, he does go into the main, but there's actually not that much mining there. Oh, never mind, there's a ton of probes there. So InControl being attacked from 2 sides. There are some High Templar here, but Psionic Storm is not quite done yet, and they wouldn't have had the energy really to be able to do anything anyway, so it looks like this Nexus is taking some heavy siege from the Broodlords, from these highly upgraded lings, and it is going to go down. Where did those lings actually end up? In the main. They were trying to take out all these warp gates and the Nexus, so just too many units for InControl, or actually for Ryze, for InControl to actually try and manage. He's trying to throw up this other Nexus, and it's still getting attacked by a couple of lings, so InControl does stay alive, but inside his main, the Nexus is gone, all his gateways are gone, all the pylons are gone. He's at 76 supply against 163. The lings coming in here, still shredding up these Zealots very quickly. That Adrenal Gland upgrade is actually very devastating, and InControl still just trying to figure out what he should do, moving around with his 2 remaining Colossi. He's got a couple of High Templar still alive, and these Stalkers, but Ryze can just produce so quickly off those 6, now actually 7, 8 hatcheries being dropped finally, and tons and tons of lings, broodlords morphing, infestors still on the ground with lots and lots of energy. Basically the next wave that comes, InControl really won't be able to stop it. And let's look at the harvester count now after that brutal attack. 93 harvesters, 93 drones is so many drones. That's actually almost too many drones, but look at that economy. It tells the whole tale here. 28 harvesters for InControl, 93 for Ryze, and just the production tab even, all these upgrades still rolling. InControl left with basically nothing. Here come the Broodlords, here come a big Psystorm killing off all those lings. That's a huge pickup, but the Broodlords, he just doesn't have enough anti-air to deal with it, and there is the GG. So Ryze is going to take game 1 here in this best of 3 series. InControl still has a chance to come back, so let's go into game 2 now and see what happens next.